In Spider-Man No Way Home, Aunt May's death pays homage to Uncle Ben's death by recreating an altered version of it. Uncle Ben's death in the comics does not only lead to the famous quote, "With great power comes great responsibility," it also lays the foundation of Peter Parker's crime-fighting career as the Amazing Spider-Man. But despite Spider-Man No Way Home's well-deserved box office success, the movie gets the essence of the scene wrong. There are two scenes in the movie in particular that rub me the wrong way. The first scene obviously is Aunt May's death, and the second scene is a direct consequence of it. Hi, I'm Pat, and today I'm going to take a look at how the scene has gotten worse over the years because it lacks the elements which make it great. Uncle Ben's original death in Amazing Fantasy issue number 15 from 1962. After showcasing his powers on TV, Peter lets a robber escape, insisting it's not his job to stop him, even though he could have easily done so. A few days later, his Uncle Ben was shot and murdered because of a burglary gone wrong. Angry, Peter dons his Spider-Man costume and confronts the burglar holed up in a warehouse. After the altercation, the robber's identity is revealed, and he turns out to be the thief from a few days ago Peter let escape. Confronted by the grim truth, Peter blames himself for the death of his uncle. After apprehending the criminal, we are introduced to the often misquoted, "With great power there must also come great responsibility," for the first time in the very last panel. Spider-Man movie from 2002. The 2002 movie copies the scene almost to the T, except for a few minor changes, namely the locales. The TV studio was changed to a wrestling arena and tightening up the window of time in which everything takes place. Both these decisions improve on the original scene from the comics. Amazing Spider-Man 2012. In this movie, they took liberties with the scene, but by doing so, they completely detached the emotional investment from the original. Let's have a look. Up until the robbery, Peter has not consciously made use of his powers, except for bullying his bully at school. I actually do like the display of his physical prowess, but the next scene is utter nonsense. Peter witnesses a random robbery. Then, the store clerk asks him to chase down an armed robber with him, which is insane. For both of them. Neither of them should be doing that. Call the cops and be done with it. In the original iteration, Peter could have easily stepped in. Literally, all he had to do was block the corridor long enough for the criminal to miss the closing elevator doors. In this version, he has to go out of his way and actively chase down an armed robber as a civilian. The story went from doing a little thing to doing something extraordinary and dangerous. Not chasing the criminal is in actuality the responsible choice. But it gets worse. The robber trips in front of Uncle Ben, dropping his gun at his feet. Ben and the criminal engage in a wrestling match over possession of the gun, and Ben gets shot. This is terrible. This completely takes the blame of Peter because Uncle Ben is no longer an innocent bystander that got roped in by accident. He actively engaged in combat and paid the obvious price. Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home takes the cake though. After Aunt May incessantly pushes Peter to do the right thing, everything goes awry. He irresponsibly lets her hang out around interdimensional supervillains and joins Peter's fight with the Green Goblin. After Peter tries his utmost to save Aunt May, she still suffers a lethal blow. As you can probably tell, the circumstances regarding her death are vastly different from Uncle Ben's. At first, I thought I wasn't gonna count it as an Uncle Ben situation at all, but then she dropped the correct quote, "Therefore it is." Here's why this iteration is by far the worst. Reason number 1. In the original two versions, Peter chooses to reject responsibility to interfere when he easily could have done so. He's being a dick about it. In No Way Home, Aunt May pressures Peter into doing the right thing. He does not reject his responsibility, but fully embraces it. That's the first difference. Reason number 2. Uncle Ben is an innocent bystander whose life could have been spared if Peter had intervened. In hindsight, it is a tragically preventable death. In No Way Home, Aunt May faces the Green Goblin head-on, and despite Peter's best efforts to save her, he's unable to. When she chose to confront the Green Goblin, she did it knowing full well what the outcome may be. Her death was a noble sacrifice. In all fairness though, Uncle Ben's and Aunt May's deaths are two sides of the same coin. Both inspire Spider-Man to be better, through guilt tripping. The thing that bothers me is, in my opinion, the scene does not do the quote justice. Aunt May reminded Peter of what he has been doing for the past 6 movies. Her reminder is obsolete. The fate of the criminal. In the comics, Peter hands the criminal over to the police. He subdues his anger and vengeance, which also establishes his moral code and heroic character. In the 2002 movie, the criminal stumbles and dies. I hated that cop-out. It skips the very important internal conflict of mercy or vengeance. In Amazing Spider-Man, he never finds the criminal skipping the important internal conflict as well. In No Way Home, Peter chooses to exact vengeance, but Tobey Spidey intervenes, thwarting the execution. The outside intervention superimposes the moral high ground on Tom Spidey. At heart, Tom Spider-Man is vengeful, whereas the comic Spider-Man is heroic. Final thoughts. It is not Uncle Ben's death per se, but the circumstances that lead up to it that give the quote its gravitas. Despite all this, I don't mind the changes from the original character and establishing the fact that the Tom Holland Spider-Man is a different iteration from the original Spider-Man from the comics. I personally think the quote was grossly misinterpreted and mishandled. What do you guys think? Did you like the scene or not? Do you like how they incorporated the famous quote? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, that's it for me for today. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you don't like it, try another one. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.